Okay, so you got a really strong bench press, but your chest development is still weak. What do you do? I'm going to answer that question coming up next. Hey everyone, this is Coach John Hansen, Natural Mr. Olympia, three-time Natural Mr. Universe for JohnHansenFitness.com. I got a question today that was sent to me by email that I want to answer, and it's about how to build a big chest even though you've got a good bench press. The question says, hey John, I've been working out for only about 2 years, but I've gone from a 6'1", 170-pound bean pole to one of the bigger guys in my gym at 215 pounds. I've gotten great gains in muscle and strength. My only problem has been my chest. It's fairly strong. I bench more than 300 pounds. Still, it's small. Is there anything I can do to help it out a bit more? I think it could get big because of the long length of my pecs. Okay, well, first of all, congratulations on the great gains you've made in only a short time. Adding 45 pounds of muscle in only 2 years is amazing. And I can relate to your question because my chest was one of my worst body parts when I started working out as a teenager. Just like you, the muscles on my chest were attached really long. So I could tell it could be a good body part if I could just develop the size and the thickness of the muscles itself. So what I did to build mass in my chest was I stuck with all the basic movements: the barbell and incline bench press, the flat and incline dumbbell press, and then dumbbell flies, either incline or flat, and also dumbbell pullovers and dips. When I'm working my chest, I'll always include 2 pressing exercises. One will be flat, one will be incline, and then I'll include dumbbell flies, either flat or incline, and then I'll throw in at the end either dips or dumbbell pullovers. Now you want to make sure you don't overtrain your chest. So what I would do is I would do around 3 or 4 sets of my first pressing exercise. Then I would do another 3 sets of my second pressing exercise. For dumbbell flies, I'll also do 3 sets. And then I'll finish off with about 2 sets of my last exercise, which, like I said, would be dumbbell pullovers or dips. So that would add up to about 12 sets to train my chest. That's enough volume to stimulate muscle growth, but not too much where it's going to slow down my progress. Now, you talked about the barbell bench press. The barbell bench press is probably the most popular exercise in the gym. And I think it's for a good reason, because I think it's still one of the best movements for building your chest. To get the most out of it, though, you need to use the correct form so you're putting more of the stress on your chest muscles than the supporting muscles like your shoulders and your triceps. I think a lot of people are so concerned with the amount of weight they're using on the bench press that developing the chest muscles almost becomes an afterthought. So it's important to use the right technique to really stress your pecs and not just to see what your max is. I'll always take a wide grip on the bar when I do a barbell bench press. This way I'll feel it way more in the chest than in the shoulders or the triceps. I notice a lot of guys will grab the bar a little bit more narrow because that grip makes you feel tighter and stronger, but you're really actually using more of the triceps than you are the chest. Here's a good rule to go by when you're trying to figure out how wide to grab the bar. When you're lowering the bar and your upper arm is parallel to the floor, your forearm should be perpendicular to your upper arm. Using that wide of a grip is going to put more of the stress on your outer and lower pecs than it will on your triceps. So when you're grabbing the bar a little wider, also make sure that you keep your elbows right underneath the bar. When you space your hands wider on the bar and you keep your elbows pulled back, you're really going to feel the movement in your chest instead of your arms. Another trick is you want to arch your lower back a little bit. That will keep your chest held high and it'll keep your shoulders pulled back. And then you're going to get your shoulders out of the movement again, and you're going to feel it way more in your chest. Now, for guys over 40, I've noticed that sometimes the barbell bench press is really hard on the shoulders. So in your case, you'd probably be better off sticking with dumbbells instead of barbells. When you use dumbbells for a flat bench or for an incline pressing movement, you're going to be able to lower the dumbbells much lower than you could a bar. So you'll get a greater range of motion and you're going to feel the contraction a lot more at the top. For my chest workouts, I usually like to combine a barbell movement and a dumbbell movement for my pressing exercises. So if I'm going to do barbell bench presses that day, I'll usually do incline presses with dumbbells. If I'm going to do dumbbell bench presses on a flat bench, then I'll probably use the barbell for the incline presses. And getting back to your question, it's not that uncommon to be really strong on the bench press, but to still have a weak chest. This probably means at this point, your chest and your shoulders are still stronger than your chest, and they're feeling most of the movement. One way to overcome this problem is to put dumbbell flies into your chest routine. Flies enable you to isolate your chest while still using a real heavy resistance. By bringing the dumbbells out and wide, you force your pecs to work really hard without any assistance from your shoulders or your triceps. And just because it's an isolation movement, that doesn't mean you won't be able to use a heavy weight during the dumbbell flies. I like to do the dumbbell flies the same way Arnold did them in the movie Pumping Iron. I keep my feet off the floor, I bend my legs at my knees, and then I'm really able to isolate and feel the exercise more in my pecs. I also like to have my training partner behind me so he can help me get a few more reps. This helps you to get stronger on the exercise over time. And at the end of my workout, I'll sometimes add dumbbell pullovers in. This is a great exercise for expanding your rib cage. I'll typically do 2 or 3 sets of dumbbell pullovers at the end of my chest workout. When I do them at the end of the workout, my chest is really pumped, so it helps to stretch the muscle. It also helps to develop the inner upper chest muscle, which is really hard to reach with any other exercise. And on those workouts where I'm not using dumbbell pullovers at the end of the workout, I'll do wide dips instead. I'll grab the chinning bars at a wider angle and then bend my upper body forward at the waist. I try to get a really good stretch while keeping the elbows wide, and I'll come up about half or 3/4 of the way in order to keep the tension on the lower pecs. So here are 2 advanced chest training routines that I use to transform my chest from one of my weakest body parts to one of my strong points in my physique. Remember, you want to concentrate more on the form of each exercise so that you feel it in the area of their chest that you're working. And then also remember, push yourself to keep getting stronger in that 6 to 8 repetition range, and you're eventually going to build that thickness and mass that you'll need for an impressive chest. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to send your questions to me on Instagram at johnhansen1 or use my email address at naturalolympia@gmail.com. Set big goals, keep training hard, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.